So I forgot to do this one. Function notation. You got some graphs in front of you. And it's going to be tough for some kids, and I'll try to write out what things mean, okay? So, like, I'm not going to do it all of them, but if I'm looking at A is f of 3. This means find the value of y when x is 3. That's what it means, okay? So, and when you talk about f, obviously you're talking about the absolute value function here, f of x. So when x is 3, I know some of y'all can't do this. You're right here on the graph. There's your y value. It's 5. This is not a hard skill, but some of y'all, you just haven't tried in years. Now, g of 2 would be find y when x equals 2 on g of x. Okay, so I'm looking at g of x now. So when x is 2, the y value is down here at the bottom, which is -6. All right, moving on to C. C is function composition, okay? So let's talk about that one. So example C, that is f parentheses g parentheses 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to work our way out. We're going to find g of 1 and plug the result into f, okay? That's what we're going to do. So g of 1, I'd be right here. I'd return a 5. We'll take that 5 and throw it right in here. So now we find f of 5. So I go to function f. And it's not listed, but look at the slope of this thing. Rises 1, runs 1. So 6, 7. It's going to be at 7. All right. D is slightly different notation. D is a different notation. G composed of f composed of 0. It is equivalent to g of f of 0. So we're going to find this piece first. We're going to find f of 0. So when x is 0, function f has a value of 2. So now I'm actually finding g of 2, which I've already done in the past. I can look at the graph. I can go to 2 and go down -6. Or I can say, hey, I just did this a moment ago. It's -6. All right, E is g composed of f of -2. So I'm going to find f of -2. So function f has a y value of -2. Or sorry, has a y value of 0 when x is -2. Forgive me, I'm a little tired. So now I'm going to find g of 0. So when x is 0, g returns -4. I know it's got more than one part. Like kids only just want to do one thing and be done. All right, so now back to the calculator part. Write the equation of least degree for the polynomial shown below. This was just something y'all did abysmal on the last test with. But anyways, the point 018 exists on the graph. That hint is you're going to plug that in and solve for A. So we're going to identify the real zeros in a multiplicity. Doesn't matter how many times I teach you this, you just don't seem to want to remember it. But anyways, if you touch the x-axis, 0 happens once, which means the multiplicity is 1. But it happens at least once. Let me say this correctly, at least once. If you cross the x-axis, 0 happens at least twice. So we would say the multiplicity is 2. Touch, 2, both start with a T. Come on. I don't know, do something here, figure this out. So a 0 is also known as a root or an x-intercept. So we have a 0 here when x is -1. It is crossing, so the multiplicity is 1. We have a 0 right here at x equals 1. It is touching, so it's bouncing off, right? The multiplicity is 2. We have another 0 at x equals 3. And it is touching, so the multiplicity is also 2. Not that hard. Use turning point theorem. The polynomial is at least what degree? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 turning points. There are 4 TPs. And the theorem says the degree is the number of TPs plus 1. So 4 plus 1 is 5. That's turning point theorem. Based on n behavior, the polynomial is what? Well, this one starts low and ends high. That's a low to high. That would happen to be x cubed. Now, by the way, that's the answer to this one. It wouldn't kill you to write this down. High is, sorry, I wrote x cubed. I should have wrote x to the odd. High is x to the even. Low is negative x to the even. High is x to the odd. And then low is negative x to the odd. It would not kill you to write that down, but you probably won't do it. You just sit here and say, IDK, I don't know, math is hard, poor me. That's what you're going to do. You're going to whine. Quit whining, just do your work. All right, yours 4, write a least degree, I don't know why it says and. Write, well, it could be an equation. Write a least degree equation for the polynomial shown in factored form. So you're going to take your zeros and turn them into factors. So here's a 0 at x minus 1. The factor is x plus 1. The exponent is 1. Here's a 0 at 1. The factor is x minus 1. The exponent is 2. Here's a 0 at 3. The factor is x minus 3. And the exponent is 2. We always have a letter a, and we're equal to y. Now, the reason it says this point exists is because it gives you an x and a y. And kids, this is probably the 30th time we've had to plug in numbers. It's not a hard skill. Y'all are killing me. Like, I get that you don't care, but you're here. Why are you wasting my time? Because that's what you're doing. Do your work, man. Learn something. So I just plugged in an 18 where I saw a y and a 0 where I saw an x, and I'm going to do math. Here's the sad part. A lot of you can't do this. How can you not do this? What is wrong with you? How are you able to breathe? I'm not sure how you ever learned how to talk. I'm quite certain you can't read. Something wrong with you. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. You're still going to have to square it. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. You're still going to have to square it. Negative 1 squared is 1. Negative 3 squared is 9. 1 times 1 times 9 is 9. I wrote out all the little baby steps for your butt there. We divide by 9 and we get 2. So my full-blown equation, I would probably use f of x, not y. F of x, just fancy for y, is 2 times x plus 1 to the first. Ones are understood. If you understand that, x minus 1 squared, x minus 3 squared. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I will be right back. It just depressed me thinking about how bad y'all have done on those. All right, number 2, find f divided by g of x and state the domain. So you're literally just going to take f, you're going to throw it over g, and you're going to state the domain. Now, fractions are kind of unique. There's a rule. It says for 1 over anything, and it can be, 1 can be anything cannot be 0 because you cannot divide by 0. So x squared minus 3x minus 4 cannot, shall not, will not be a 0. That will factor. I know that you guys don't like factoring, don't care. Factors of negative 4 that add to negative 3 are negative 4 and positive 1, still not 0. By the not 0 product property, x cannot be 4 and x cannot be negative 1. So this is my function. Her domain could be written several ways. Her domain could simply be done using set builder. All values of x such that x is not negative 1 or 4. Or I could use interval notation. I'm allowed to be everything but those two numbers. I could use this. Because I'm allowed to be everything else, including the stuff in between those two numbers. I can do either one of those, okay? You just got to pick which one I do. All right, moving on to number 3. This is literally f times g. You see the multiplier? It's 3x minus 7, 2 or more terms wrapped, times g, x squared minus 3x minus 4. If you want to do a box, use a box. Don't really care. I'm going to do a box. Why not? Let's make it tall and skinny. You got your 3x minus 7. You got your x squared minus 3x minus 4. X squared times 3x is 3x cubed. X squared times negative 7 is minus 7x squared. Negative 3x times 3x is minus 9x squared. Negative 3x times negative 7 is 21x. Negative 4 times 3x is negative 12x. And negative 4 times negative 7 is 28. I gave you this twin on a Tuesday, a full 8 days before your test. 15 of you will not turn one in. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You'll have some lame excuse. I didn't have time. Whatever. Pathetic. I'm obviously being a little sarcastic here, but it actually is kind of pathetic. Guys, this is not hard stuff. You're just going to have to learn how to want it, man. But it's getting kind of depressing. 21 minus 12 is 9. And you got your plus 28. There you go. 4 is addition. Oh my God, it's addition. You're going to take two things and you're going to add them together. The F notation that we use, I think it really messes them up. If you add two things together, you don't need to wrap. That's a subtraction idea. Then all you gotta do is put this thing in STD form. Highest exponent first, if you hadn't figured that out yet. X squared leads. Let's see, those guys knock each other out, don't they? They sure do. And then negative 4 plus negative 7 is negative 11. Don't be the kid who says like negative 3 or positive 3. Don't be that kid. 5 is G minus F. Order's important. G has to come first. X squared minus 3x minus 4. Take away two or more things wrap. 3x minus 7. It does have an x squared. We have a negative 3x. Take away 3 more x. It's negative 6x. Don't be the kid who says 0x. We have a negative 4 minus a negative 7. That's positive 3. Don't be the kid who makes sign mistakes. It's too easy to miss. Number 6, we have some funny notation there. We do. How you read that might be kind of funny, but this is G composed of F composed of X. Now, old school notation, we look like this, G of F of X. I don't know why they got away from old school notation, because it makes more sense. Because I can write it like this, G of 3x minus 7. Which means that every x in G becomes 3x minus 7. Okay, so I see an x. It happens to be squared, by the way. 3x minus 7 squared minus 3 times I see an x. 3x minus 7. Don't forget the negative 4. And then you're going to start doing some math. Like, you know, everybody and their mama knows this, but they don't want to do it. 3x minus 7 squared is 3x minus 7 times 3x minus 7. If we FOIL 9x squared minus 21x minus 21x plus 49, this whole thing becomes 9x squared minus 42x plus 49. The distributive property, take away 9 more x plus 21, and then finally minus 4. Don't forget about that negative 4. That's a pretty common mistake that I've noticed over the years, that kids forget about it. And then, of course, we just combine our like terms here. We have a 9x squared. Let's see, those are alike. That's negative 51x if we can add or subtract. We have 49 plus 21, which is going to take us to 70. Take away 4, which is plus 66. It ain't hard. But I got a hunch no more than 30% of you will get it right. Because that's what you're showing me this year. And it's getting kind of depressing. I don't take depression medication yet. You just keep doing what you're doing and I might get there. All right, solve the linear system below. What we're going to do is we're going to write an augmented matrix. Maybe you remember doing this, maybe you don't. You may not even know what day of the week it is, to be quite honest with you. 2, 1, negative 1, bar, 0. Keep only the coefficients. 4, negative 4, 1, 0. Negative 1, 1. There are no z's. 0, 1. We're going to throw that in our TI-84. What we're going to do is we're going to do a roll operator. We're going to do RREF on this bad boy. And it's going to give us a result. So let's throw this into our TI-84. What's really bad is on the last test, half the student body missed this. Looks to me like I wrote a 3x4. Hopefully you agree. 3 rows, 4 columns, 3x4. And we're just going to push some buttons here. Let's see, I got a 2, a 1, a -1, a 0, 4. Feel like that's a -4. It is. A -4, a 1, a 0, a 1, a 1, a 0, and a 1. So I quit. We've done this before. Back to second matrix. Scroll to the right to math. It's quicker to get to double REF by hitting the up arrow. Press enter. Second matrix. A, enter. Interpret. Now this one has fractions, so I'm going to hit the math key, enter, enter. Now it looks pretty, okay? There we go. Look at that. And now I interpret. The top row says X is 1/3. The middle row says Y is 2/3. The last row says Z is 4/3. Probably going to have it as an ordered triple, okay? It'd be 1/3, 2/3, 4/3. Ooh, the favorite section. Let me pause and let me get myself amped up for this because this is factoring. And we love factoring, don't we? So do you love or do you loathe factoring? If you don't know what the word loathe means, you probably don't like factoring because bless you. All right. Now, this is a factoring completely section. If you're going to factor completely, you're going to follow Milbrath-Math's first commandment of math, which is if you can pull it, you can pull it. Both those pieces are divisible by 16. If you pull the 16, you're left with x squared minus 4. And x squared minus 4, everybody and their mama knows factors is x minus 2 times x plus 2. It's done. It doesn't get any simpler than that. That is every factor of that thing, unless you want to say 16 is like 2 times 4 times 2 or whatever. But we don't do that with numbers. All right, 7n squared plus 25n minus 12. Every binomial requires a double set of parentheses. To make a 7n squared takes a 7n and an n. Factors of 12 that are going to work are probably 3 and 4. That'd be my guess. Placement matters. The outside's going to make 21n. The inside's going to make 4n. I need a positive, but a negative. So what I have is not going to work. I'm going to flip it around. I guessed and I checked and I was wrong. It happens. I actually need the 4 here and the 3 here. The outside's going to make 28n. If I make it positive, it's a positive 28n. I need one of these two to be negative because a negative times positive is a negative. The inside's negative 3n. And if I put those together, plus 25. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, moving on. What is that on my board? X to the 4th plus 5x squared plus 4. Still a trinomial. It is. It takes an x squared and an x squared to create x to the 4th. Factors of 4 are 1 and 4. To add to -5, they are both negative. But wait, there's more. These are both special patterns. Everybody and their mama knows how x squared minus 1 factors. If your mama doesn't know, there's a good chance you don't know because apples don't fall too far from trees now, do they? And the other one is x minus 2 times x plus 2. Hope you got it from your daddy. Number 11, 27u cubed minus 125. What are both of those things divisible by? Are they divisible by anything? And I'm thinking, I'm pretty tired here. No, they don't have a common factor. It'd be cool if they did, but they don't. So what it takes to make a 27u cubed, and I'm looking at this pattern right here, is I take a 3u and I cube it. To make 125, I take a 5 and I cube it. I have figured out what A and B are. And see the minus sign? Look at that guy right there. So A is 3u, B is 5. 3u minus 5. Notice it says square of 3u. You know, what's a 3u squared? That's right, it's 9u squared. Plus because there's a plus. 3u times 5 15u. See what it says do with b? It says take a 5 squared plus 25. Ta-da! I'm just about done because I'm about out of energy. I'm going to run, I think, through 13, and then I'm going to stop for the day. All right, so 5x squared minus 14x plus 6 using the quadratic formula. Now, it should be like equal to 0. It's not. But anywho, a is 5, b is a negative 14, and c is 6. So your little formula here, x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And plug in, okay? Just plug into this thing. It ain't that bad. So opposite of a negative b, or instead of a negative 14 is 14, plus or minus square root of a negative 14 that's squared, minus 4 times a, which is 5, times c, which is 6, and it's all sitting pretty over twice a, so twice 5. Yeah, as tired as I am, I don't feel like running through this. Inside my radical, there's a negative 14 that's squared. I take away 4 times a, which was 5, times c, which I feel was 6. It was. And this is the number in my radical, a 76. So x is 14. It, by the way, is over a 10, plus or minus a root of 76, which is also over a 10. Now, 76 should be divisible by 4, and it is, okay? So root 76 is a root of 4 times a root of 19. The root of 4 being 2 root 19. 14 over 10, both even, divisible by 2. It would be 7/5 plus or minus. Now let's think about this piece. It's also over a 10. 2 over 10, 1/5. 1's, of course, being understood. But whatever, I just want to show you it was there. Root 19 over 5. So 7/5 plus or minus root 19 over 5. And 13 is going to be where I stop. Find all zeros by guessing or graphing the two real zeros. Now, here's what I noticed. Now, granted, there's a good chance, and I'm probably right, I bet that 30% of you just get a copy from somebody else. Now, I want to warn you that if you share your copy with another student, they will fail. You did not help them. In this situation, you're the enabler, and you are doing your friend great harm by letting them cheat off of you. You are. You did not help them one bit whatsoever. They still fail because they don't know anything. Make them put in the effort. Now, on the last test, 50% of my students could not get the real zeros. It was literally the worst test I've graded in probably 6 years. I was not pleased. It says graphing. Like, what is wrong with you? I don't think you can read. I do not think that you can read. I think you have been promoted over and over and over because nobody wanted to hurt your little feelings because you couldn't read. Your feelings ought to be hurt. You need to learn how to read. Read the question. Zoom 6. Just like I've taught you, and I've done it 100 times with you. Let's see what kind of zeros this thing has. It's got one nice one and one not so nice one. So since we call these zeros, I apparently have something else in my calculator. But since we call these zeros, I'm going to put a 0 in y2 so that I can use the intersect feature just like I've done with y'all so many times. So second trace 5 is what I'm going to do. Once this calculator quits working. Second, trace 5. This one I know is -1. It's that other one right there that I don't know. Enter, enter, enter. It's -0.25. Okay. So I got x equals -1 and -0.25, which by the way is -1/4. Now I'm going to do synthetic division. I'm going to do the -1 first because it's easier. There's a 4x to the fourth. There's a 5x cubed, a 9x squared, a 10x, and a 2. And I'm going to DMA. I'm going to drop. I'm going to multiply, and I'm going to add. I'm going to multiply, and I'm going to add. I'm going to multiply, and by golly gee wow, I'm going to add. I'm going to multiply, and I'm going to add. And since I have a 0, and I know there's another 0, I did my work correct. This time I'm going to do the -1/4. The 4's would cancel. -1/4 of 4 is -1. -1 plus 0 is 0. 0 times anything is 0. A fourth of 8 is 2. Since it's negative, -2. Remainder, constant, xx squared. I've done that with you a dozen times. You're going to have to figure this out. You have 4x squared plus 8 set it equal to 0 because there are 2 more zeros according to the fundamental theorem of algebra. Subtract your 8. 4x squared is -8. Divide out your 4. X squared is -2. Counteract a square with a square root. Remember the 2's cancel? Plus or minus because it's an even root. And an I because it's frickin' imaginary. It's not hard, children. It's not. And I know my demeanor during this video has not been that good, but I don't get it. I am working so hard for y'all. I am up here at 6 a.m. I'm doing a good chunk of your homework for you. It's you. Fix it, please. Please fix it.